Thank you for being here today. Arduino had a map of the world with each country's average age. If you took the average of everyone in that country as their age, add them all up, divide by how many people, you get the average age. What I wanted you to do is tell me a pattern you're seeing, and what does that mean for the future of global population? So there's a few different patterns you could have called out. You could have called out Africa being significantly younger than the rest of the world. Talk about how Central and South America and the Middle East, these developing countries, are kind of in the middle. The countries that are most developed tend to be in yellow, red, orange. So the developed countries are older, developing countries are average, underdeveloped countries are the youngest. And what does that mean for our future? Um, is that we can tell that Africa, having such a young population, is that they're all about to start having kids. Right? These huge percentage of their population that's like 14 to 20. Well, in the next 10 years or so, they're going to start having kids and they're going to increase their population even more. There's a dramatic increase in African population, probably a steady increase in Central and South America. And then places like East Asia, Europe, North America, you're going to see populations start to decline. Today, we're going to start talking about urban population. So, all these people moving or being born and living in Southeast Asia, most of them are moving into cities. Now, we talked about this word urbanization way back in like September. Urbanization is the growth of cities and the growth of city culture. So, you have millions of people moving into a city. What sort of problems come along with that? What sort of advantages? And as population grows, most of the people are moving into cities. And so most of our population growth we're seeing, these billions of people, they're living in cities. They're not living in small communities or farms. They're in the big cities. So this comes with some advantages. Right? If you're living in a city, you have access to new jobs, education, healthcare, technology, resources that are in the city. There's some disadvantages. Lots of pollution, difficulty getting resources into the people like food and water. Lots of slums. How do you have housing for this many people? The spread of disease. All right, so this giant increase in city population is bringing positives and negatives. Here are some pictures of cities in Southeast Asia. This is Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam. You can see it looks awesome. You can definitely see why people would want to move to live here. There's jobs here. You can go to college here. You can go to the hospital here. All right, this looks great. This is also Ho Chi Minh City. A lot of the people who are moving there are not getting access to this. Most people are in communities like this, where they're in complete poverty, struggling to get food, struggling to get a job, enough water, electricity, all that stuff is very difficult. Here we have Mumbai in India, right? Again, a really cool looking city, lots of cool places to live, jobs, um, access to all this new technology. It looks great. This is also in Mumbai. And the level of poverty, slums. All right, so these cities are sort of the tale of two different stories. There are the wealthy, those who have access, and then there's the poor, the ones who do not have access. And this is what we mean when we say spatial inequality, wealth and poverty in the same area. Our activity today is going to be to look at a couple digital maps. Um, you'll have this link in a second. When you open it up, it's going to give you map of the world, and you can zoom in and move it around and different things. What this first map shows you is the biggest cities in the world. It starts with the top 10 biggest cities in the world back in the year 100. So you can see there's like Rome, Carthage, Athens, and all these different cities. There's a few in India, a few in China, mostly in the Middle East, none in North or South America. But as I click these on and off, I can change the time. So this is the year 1000, where are the 10 biggest cities in the world. The year 1500, the year 1900, the year 1950. So as I go through, I can see um, the biggest cities in the world. I could also click on things like population density if I wanted to. Um, so the first part of your assignment is to analyze this map and look at how the biggest cities in the world, where they've changed and what's happened. The second map, similar to the first one, we got a map of the world. This one is showing the world population. So the bigger the dot, the bigger the population. Click on population density, uh, mortality rates, fertility rate, life expectancy, all these different tools, these statistics we've been talking about in class. You can click on different ones to see different stats about different countries. So you'll be answering questions about this as well.